So again, GOAT tier is, the best of the best. WOE tier is the worst of the worst. What the freak tier is kind of like, don't really know / why is this even a toy / there's some gray area there. So / like never tried, right? So like, all the ones that are in never tried are gonna go in what the freak tier. First one, we just got like action figures. Action figure animals, sure. I mean, action figures were never really my thing. Now I know a lot of people. Are big into action figures. A lot of people are just sitting there like playing make believe with their action figures. I wasn't really that type of kid. I wasn't. Now, sure, like I was more as an action figures for decoration type thing. Like I'd put them in my room. But as a toy, like I didn't really play with them. Like I was never really like simulating whatever with action figures. So I'm gonna go D tier. I think it's a pretty bad toy. It requires a lot of imagination. Action figures, you need a lot of imagination. So I don't know if I had that as a kid. The 1ZK, thank you for the follow. Guys, if you haven't hit the follow button, go ahead and do that. Glow sticks and that type of stuff. Again, not a whole lot you can like do with them, but they're cool. Maybe you have like a dance party with your friends with the lights off in the house or something like that. It's cool. It's talking parrot is goat. Again, there's just not a whole lot of interaction there, I think, with the glow stuff. I'm going to go C tier. Glow sticks for 4th of July, yeah, but like, outside of that, not really a lot going on with glow sticks. Sticky hands is a great toy. Sticky hand things is an unreal toy. You freaking like you pretend you're in the rodeo. You lasso them, they stick to the thing. It's the coolest thing ever. I used to love sticky hands. So insanely in on sticky hands. I'm gonna go A tier sticky hands. Yeah, big A, facts. Massive A tier. Contender, definitely a contender to win this whole thing. Massive contender. Love sticky hands. I don't know what this is. Mackenzie said it's like really cool. I don't know what this is. Like, what is this? An actual bird? Is this just like a pet? Like, is this like how is this a toy? It's in what the freak tier. I don't know what it is. Like, what is that? Talking parrot. Yeah, like, what does it do? Does it talk to you? Like, can you like press a button and it like says something? But it can't say that many things. Like, it probably has like 5 things that it just like says over and over again. You got one of those for your brother? What does it do? What does it do though? You say something and it copies what you say? No way. It mimics you? No way. That's epic. That's cool. I'm in on that. Oh, I'm so in on that. Okay, I'm gonna go. I mean, it's still what the freak tier because I've never tried it, but that's cool. That's low-key GOAT tier if you guys are actually right about that. Yeah, okay. Water guns. Water guns. Dude, I'm gonna go water guns at, am I crazy to go GOAT tier water guns? I'm looking at these. What is better? What's better than water guns? Nothing. They're so OP. You have water gun fights. Now I will say, there's not a whole lot of water that fits in there and you got to refill. You got to always be refilling, but that's how it is with real guns. You got to like re-ammo it. You got to, I don't know how that works, but like water guns were so fun. You ever like go out on the rooftop and like, water balloons and water guns and water slides and all. It's a great time. Bryce, thank you for the follow. So I grew up in this, still the building I live in back in Chicago, or the building my parents live in, 4 condos. And the top condo has a, the top one has a rooftop deck, right? And so my best friend lived in the same building as me, and he lived in the top one. So it was OP because we could use the rooftop deck. He had an inflatable water slide. And like any hot day, we would like put the inflatable water slide up on the rooftop deck and we'd freaking slide down it all the time. And it was the GOAT thing. And we would just do water stuff with the freaking water guns. And it was the GOAT. So yeah, Nerf stuff. Yeah, Nerf stuff's also a great toy. Nerf stuff is also a great toy. I'm going to go A tier Nerf stuff. Absolutely. Low-key, I'm taking sticky hands over Nerf though. Nerf guns are cool. Water guns are better because like the water guns, you're getting wet. Like, and it's like actually Nerf guns, it just, you get hit with the Nerf gun. It's like, okay, whatever. So I'm gonna go Nerf guns A tier. I wasn't like a big Nerf guy. I don't think I had a lot. Low-key, the best Nerf item is the football. The Nerf football. The Nerf football's the GOAT. The Nerf Frisbee. Those are the best Nerf items. The guns, I wasn't really a fan of. What the freak is this thing? No, I know what this thing is and I like had one. And it's kind of cool. It was kind of fun to just like stretch. Yeah, Yeah, no, Nerf guns aren't. You're not terrified. Nerf guns, you don't. Getting hit with a Nerf gun blaster, like, you don't feel anything. That's what I'm saying. At least getting hit with a water gun is like interactive. I'm gonna go these things B tier. I'm gonna go these things B tier. Absolutely. They're good. They're cool. I mean, again, they're better than glow sticks because glow sticks don't really do anything. And at least that you kind of stretch it. And it's like a fun little like gadget toy thing. Those hurt with the big bullets. I don't think I had the same Nerf things that you guys did. What Nerf guns did you guys have? Okay, I don't know what this is. What is this? Anybody know what this is? It's going in what the freak tier. This isn't like what is this? See you later, Epic. What is this, guys? The giant ones? You had no Nerf gun? Yeah, no, the Nerf guns were... I think people in here and me definitely had different Nerf guns. Like, I had the ones that, like, the little, like, super foamy things that, like, you didn't feel anything. Guys, what is this? Can we get an answer on what this is? What the freak is this? This isn't anything. It's going in what the freak tier. All right, moving on. Coloring book. I'm not going to say I was a kid who just sat down and colored. Little bit of a hot take there. But as a kid, so now, obviously, every time I go on a plane ride, I'm watching How I Met Your Mother every single time. Back when I was a kid, I used to color every single plane ride. I used to have one of those coloring books that, like, it wasn't like a picture. It wasn't like I was coloring a picture. It was just like abstract designs, right? Like abstract little patterns. I was like super nerdy, whatever. And so I would like color in and make everything symmetrical and like rainbow. And it was the GOAT thing. I used to love it. So I'm going to go coloring books at B tier. Again, there's a time and a place. Yeah, there's a time and a place. What is How I Met Your Mother? Oh. I thought you were being serious for a second. There's a time and a place for coloring books, but like during that time and that place, it's the GOAT entity. Yeah, B tier. You still color? Yeah. And look, if I were to pick up a coloring book today, I'd have a good time. I would. What's Duplo? No idea. What the freak tier? No idea what the freak Duplo is. What is that? What is that? Lego bricks? But we already have Lego in here. Chelsea with the gifted sub. Thank you, Chelsea. Oh my gosh. Chelsea, you deserve the day off after last time. Chelsea, you're good. But yes, Q's in the chat. Q's in the chat, everybody. But yeah, Chelsea, you're good. Don't worry about it today. Seriously, thank you so much. Again, if Duplo is Legos, I'm gonna go Legos on the tier list in Duplo and What the Freak because I don't know what it is. Okay. What is this? What is this? Robot? Is this just like a statuette or does this do anything? Am I crazy for wanting to put this in woke tier? Because what the freak is it? Oh, it's a wind up. Oh, it's a wind up. No, wind up toys are cool. In on wind up toys. Yeah, no, in on wind up toys. Kind of. You know, I think they get boring after a while. But I'm in on them. I'm going to go C tier. Now, I said I'm in on them and then still went C tier. I was in on them until I thought about it and I was like, okay, wind up toys are cool for like 10 minutes. And then you're kind of done. Like, can a kid sit there and play with a wind up toy for more than like 10 minutes? I don't know. I feel like you like this thing, for example. This thing you could stretch and you could just like, it's almost like a stress ball fidget toy, but for kids. And you could just like do it for hours, I feel like. A wind-up toy, I feel like, is again, a 10-minute project, right? And then you're done. These things are underrated. These things are massively underrated. I like these things. I don't remember exactly what I did. I think I just like, you know, shook them a little bit and the balls would like go around and like hit my hand on the other side. I like this stuff, these things. These things were fun. These things were fun. Should you know this? Not necessarily, but I had these as a kid and I was in on these. I'm gonna go B tier. I'm gonna go low-key better than coloring books. I used to just like shake them around and like, it was a good time. I don't know. It's a really simple idea. Clacker, sure, that's what it's called. It's a really simple concept and a simple idea, but it was so fun. It was so fun. You just freaking shake them. It's just like, you know, it was the GOAT thing. I don't even know how to describe it. Your parents hated them? Why? I had so many of those. Oh, so okay. I'm gonna assume this is just like music instruments as in general, because I had a big box. I had a big plastic box of music toys because I've always been into like music and whatever. And even as a kid, like I kind of was. And so I had like the drums, I had like the maracas, I had like the eggs that you just shake and they made sound. I had the harmonica, I had the kazoo, I had this, I had all those music toys. So I think I'm gonna go A tier. I think I'm gonna go A tier for music toys in general. Music toys were the GOAT. I think I'm gonna go above Nerf. No, I can't go above Nerf because the Nerf football was the GOAT. But I think I'm gonna go music toys in A tier. Again, I'm not just talking about the xylophone. I'm talking about all of them. You would play every single one. Yeah, I would just like have sessions. I would like rock out as a kid. And again, I was an only child. Not an only child. Like I have a brother and sister, but they're 30 years older than me, so I never lived with them. So I was pretty much an only child. And so I would have jam sessions. Like I would get my music on, you know? DS. I don't know what this one is, but we have a DS here. This one just looks like a DS. So I'm just gonna count the DS. Okay. Interesting, because obviously, like I had a DS as a kid a little bit, but I didn't use it that much. DS is, you know, it's not, it's Game Boy, sure. But like it's the, you know what I mean? Like it's the same thing as the DS. I didn't have one of these. I had one of these for like a year and then I got rid of it. I know what a Game Boy is, but like, again, it's the same thing. Like what's the difference? Like I'm not going to rank both. Like why would I rank both? Yeah, sure. It's a Game Boy. Okay. That doesn't mean I don't know what it is. But the DS, it's not really what you want your kid playing with. Right? I feel like you give your kid a game or a DS if you're like super tired and you want some sleep and he can just freaking like do whatever. But like, I'm not really in on the idea of kids just sitting down playing with DSs over and over again and just staring at the screen. I'm going to go C tier. Again, it's probably more fun than a lot of these other ones for the kid. And you know, I played the Mario Kart game on the DS and it was a good time. But I think there's better ways to spend your time if you're a kid. So I'm going to go C tier. I'm going to go C tier DS. Just, again, I'm kind of out on video games. Hot take. Kind of out on video games in general. DS is like a kid's introduction to video games, but you don't really want your kid like playing video games in general. And so the DS, like if I had a kid, I'm not getting him a DS. Or I guess I am, but I'm not letting him play it that much. The Game of Life. Okay, so are we counting board games as childhood toys? Like, I guess. I still play board games now. The Game of Life was a solid board game, better as a kid than it is now, but it's a solid board game, you know, definitely an above average board game. It's weird to rank it with all these other things because it's more of like it's definitely more of a multiplayer thing. Obviously you need other people to play the Game of Life. And I feel like it's like, I played with like these things and these things way earlier than I started playing board games. So I feel like this is more of like an, you know, like a 9 years old to like 15 years old toy, whereas this was like a 6 to 9 year old toy. So I'm going to rank, yeah, I'm going to rank it, but I don't know where to rank it. It's interesting. I think I'm going to go, I mean, board games like in a vacuum are like very like fun times. So I think I'm going to go A tier, right? Because like it's more fun than like this stuff. But it's all like, if we're counting it as a toy, if we're counting it for what it is, it's one of the better, Monopoly, same thing. I think Monopoly is better than the Game of Life, but I think they count as A tier. Is this live TikTok or only on here? Right now we're just on here. So hit the follow button on here because I do a lot of lives just on here. A is too high. I don't think it is. I don't think A is too high because board games are just really fun. Monopoly takes too long, yeah, but it's like fun. And like, I'm in on like sitting down and playing Monopoly for like 3 hours. Like I'm not like against that. So yeah, I'm gonna go A tier. Again, less of like a childhood toy, more of like an early, like, you know, teenager type toy, I feel like. Toy. I don't even, do board games even count? Okay. Hot Wheels is, for me specifically, Hot Wheels is top of A tier. Because I had a system. Monopoly isn't a good kids game, great game for it. So, okay, so we got to define it then, because I agree, Monopoly or Life are not good kids games, because if I'm an 8-year-old, I don't really care. But if I'm like a 12-year-old, I'm like invested. So like, what are we doing? Because I think I'm taking them in a vacuum. I'm just talking about all these in a vacuum. So in a vacuum, Monopoly and Life are great toys because they're board games and board games are fun. But for kids, I don't know. So I think you could make the argument that both of them should go B tier, low key, because they're not as good for kids. Yeah, no, I agree. Fair enough. And for kids, I think I'm taking this thing. Yeah, sure. I'll go B tier. Yeah, you're right. And no, that's a good take. It's a mature take. I think I got to readjust it because I don't think they're as catered towards kids. I don't think they're as catered towards kids as they are towards teenagers, whatever. Anyway, Hot Wheels, the reason why Hot Wheels is A tier for me and top of A tier and low-key go tier, but I don't think I could go tier, is because Hot Wheels, no, I'm not going to go tier. Hot Wheels, I had this thing. I would line them all up. Hi, thank you so much for the follow. I'd line them all up and I'd like push them. And like, depending on how far it pushed, I would like rank it. And like, I would like push the next one. And then I'd like push the next one. And I called it like the Grand Prix of like Hot Wheels. And I would do this. And I'd like measure out all how far each of them went. And then I would like rank them based on that. And I'd have like a season. And I'd like do that. and like the top 8 would like make the semi or like the bracket, and then I'd like do them in a bracket. And like I'd like see what the ultimate Hot Wheels was. And I had like so many Hot Wheels. I just like did that. I did that for hours as a kid. I would just freaking push my Hot Wheels. Oh, it was the GOAT thing. I loved Hot Wheels. Remote control stuff. Remote control stuff is a GOAT tier toy. So far, I think remote control stuff is the best toy we've had so far on this tier list. 100%. 100%. And the reason why is because it's so incredibly interactive and it's so fun. Again, it's not one of those things that you do for 5 minutes and get bored of. It's one of those things that a kid could be spending hours, like, you know, driving his little remote control. Did you guys ever have the tracks? Did you guys ever have the freaking Hot Wheels tracks? Now, I guess that counts as Hot Wheels, but it also could count as remote control, where you like push the button and then the car goes along the track. It's so like the orange tracks. Doing brackets from day one, literally. The orange tracks, those were so fun. I used to love those. Okay, this was, and I don't want to be like sexist or anything. I feel like this was more of a catered towards a girl toy. Like, I never did this. I never had one of these. Again, not to say that boys can't use these, right? I don't want to, it's 2022. It's, you know, I don't want to say the wrong thing here. But for me, I didn't have one of these. So I'm going to go with the freak tier because, I don't know. But wouldn't have really been up my alley as a kid. So I'm going to go with the freak tier. Again, I think for the people that enjoy, like, playing make-believe and like doing all that stuff, it's a great toy. I think it's a great toy. Yeah, I think you could, you know, you see the little like videos on TikTok of like the kids play, like you know, the parents filming the kid playing with those. I've seen a couple videos. It looks great. It's gonna go with the freak tier. This is ridiculous. This is a full car. Now this was like kind of past my time. Like I didn't see until I was like, is that a mini kitchen? Yeah. Until I became like out of the like basic toys phase. That's when I started seeing these. And like, I never had one of these as a kid. This is like, I mean, this would be on every kid's Christmas list. I mean, this is the greatest toy of all time, right? Like, come on. Like that's the greatest thing, but it goes in what the freak tier. Cause 1, I never had one. 2, like, how is it even a toy? Like it's such an advanced, like, it's the GOAT thing. Like, come on. Who wouldn't want one of these? I would want like, this is all I used to want. Yeah, no, if I ever used it, it would go in GOAT tier, 100%. But I never used it. So I can't technically assume. I wonder if it was like easy to, like, I wonder if it like broke very easily. I'm assuming it did. But I mean, come on, like a freaking car, take it out to the park and just drive it. Like that sounds so awesome. This thing was more my time. This thing was more my time. And I definitely had one of these. And like, there was no way to actually drive it, but like your friend pushed you. And it was still a very solid toy. I'm gonna go A tier for this. I'm going to go A tier right here. I'm going to go A tier for that. That thing was the GOAT. I love this thing. Not the GOAT, but the freaking, what do you call it? What was the brand? Guys, what was the brand of this thing? It was like a 3-word thing. What am I thinking? Fisher Price, right? Fisher Price. Fisher Price, this thing. Yeah, so good. Barbie for me is going, what the freak tier? Because I never really had Barbies. I'll say what the freak / never had to clear that up. But again, I know there were a lot of people that loved like Barbies were a massive trend back in, you know, the 2008, 2009 era. So I never had Barbies, so I can't rank it. But again, respect to Barbies. Again, this just looks like an action figure. This almost looks like the freaking toy you would get at the Happy Meal as a kid. But yeah, it's just an action figure for me. I wasn't really a big action figures kid. I wanted toys that I could like do things with. And I didn't have the imagination. I didn't have the creativity as a kid to just play with action figures for hours. So I'm gonna go D tier. Same thing, D tier here. Looks like the exact same thing. Bouncy balls. All forms of bouncy balls are going GOAT tier. And yeah, right here. What is this though? I don't know if these are bouncy balls. Are these bouncy balls? I'm gonna just assume they are. Are these bouncy balls, guys? I'm gonna assume they are. Oh, this thing. I gotta show you guys something. I freaking still have one. I still have a pinky ball. I had like a billion of these when I was a kid. The pinky balls were the GOAT entity. I still have one. And I still freaking, you know, it's the GOAT. I love these things. The pinky balls are the GOAT. No, the GOAT. Pinky balls are the GOAT, actually. This thing, a very close second. And then these things don't really look like, oh, these are the ball pit balls. Oh, it's not a toy. The ball pit balls are like a C tier. Like, okay, when you're in the ball pit, they're kind of fun to like squish a little bit, but it's not, they don't do anything. I'll go here. The bouncy balls, though, are the GOAT. Yeah, they're not only GOAT tier, but they are the GOAT. This thing is the GOAT toy. Why do you think I have it in my hands right now? This thing. Oh, the things you would go to like the zoo, or sorry, you would go to like the field museum. You would go to a museum for like a field trip or whatever, and like your parent would get you one of these in the gift shop, right? You know what I mean? These things were the GOAT. These things were awesome. I'm gonna go. Now I'm still gonna go B tier. Like they weren't the GOAT. I'm still gonna go B tier, but like I love doing the freaking the you know, you would close your hands and the thing would like do its little open its mouth thing. It was the GOAT. You guys know what I'm talking. I'm doing a really bad job at explaining it, but you know what I'm talking about. Again, this just looks like an action figure. Going D tier. Do we have a WOT tier today? I don't know if we have a WOT tier today. What is this? Actually, yeah, I don't know if I guess all the action figures are going WOT tier. All right, let me change up my rankings here. Action figures go WOT. I think these two go D. I think this makes a lot of sense here. I think this makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Okay, this is good. Yeah, this is a stress ball, but it's like one of the interesting stress balls that like has random stuff coming out of it. Stress balls are good. Stress balls are great. Yeah, it can get down with a stress ball. I think I'm gonna go similar to this thing, but I think that thing was a little bit more fun than the stress ball because like you freaking pull its like limbs or whatever, and it's kind of fun. Stress balls, yeah, solid B tier. Solid B tier. This thing, oh, the claw. The claw. This thing is like a better version of these things. The sand-filled ball, yeah, the OG fidget toy, facts, XX. This thing is the better version of these. Low-key, but it's so much better. It might even go in A tier. This thing was so awesome. I used to love this thing. Yeah, this thing was so much of a better version of this because you could grab things with this. You could use it to like pick stuff up kind of if you were good with it. And I was, you know I was. And then finally we have Legos. Now Legos, I wasn't as much of a Lego kid as most kids were, I feel like, but I was definitely like, I had Legos. And you know, I enjoyed Legos. And they can't go any lower than A tier because Legos is like a genius thing. And I'm gonna throw Legos. I'm gonna throw Legos right here. Like I played with Hot Wheels as a kid way more than I played with Legos. I played with Hot Wheels as a kid more than I played with any of these besides the bouncy balls, 100%. Right? But Legos I think are probably objectively a better toy. But for me personally, this is my list. I'm going Hot Wheels over Legos because I used to love Hot Wheels. But Legos are amazing. And like every kid should have Legos. Legos is a great toy for a kid. Absolutely fantastic. So there you go, everybody.